Do you or your partner bring up the past in arguments? Do the same old topics about things that happened before keep creeping into your conflicts, thus changing the course of the argument, escalating it, and making it 10 times worse? When bringing up the past in a fight, we are adding fuel to an already stoked fire. So why do we keep doing it? Hello Moodlings! My name is Dr. Nicole Linan and I'm the CEO and co-founder of MoodMe, a new app that allows you to share over 400 plus moods, emotions, and desires with your partner, thus making communication simple, fun, and super easy. Today, we're going to be talking about why partners bring up the past in relationships. But before we get into the why, please show us some love and subscribe, share, and like. I feel like we can all say at least once that we brought up something that's happened in the past into an argument or a conversation that has nothing to do with it. So then the question is, why? Well, I got 8 reasons why partners bring up the past in arguments. And let's start with reason number 1. They don't want to be wrong. In relationships, arguments can form into a battlefield where one person is right and the other person is wrong. While past mistakes, especially the larger ones, can be used as ammunition, a way to say, oh yeah, well, you were wrong because you've been wrong in the past. It's like we're loading up our gun and we're waiting until they make a good point, and then we load it up with the past mistake that they've done and we're like, chick, chick, boom. Let's take Sally and Peter as an example. Sally could bring up Peter's mistake of lying in the past as a trump card, an easy way out of an argument and an easy way to get that win. The couple could be arguing about Sally not showing up on time, and she could say, oh yeah, well, at least I'm honest and I haven't lied to you. Her reply isn't focused on the situation at hand, but once she says that, whatever argument Peter has before becomes smaller and insignificant. Reason number 2, they have not forgiven and are still hurting. If the arguments tend to go back to one specific thing that a partner has done wrong, it's because the other partner has not forgiven it yet and is not over it yet. The pain still exists in the hurt partner's heart, hiding under the surface, playing on replay in their mind. Although some can keep it under control and compartmentalize most of it, when the volume gets turned up on emotions, like in a heated argument, the pain may come out like word vomit. Bringing up the past often speaks to unforgiveness. The person who's been wronged in the past hasn't truly forgiven the other and is possibly still hurting. It takes time for wounds to heal, and there is no right healing schedule. However, claiming to be over a conflict and then having it be brought up repeatedly clearly indicates that the problem and pain still exists. Often we tend to underestimate how much time and work it takes to forgive others. We think we're over it so that we can quickly move on. However, what we may have done is just swept it underneath the rug. If you find yourself dredging up things from the past, it's a good idea to look deeper and ask yourself if you're truly over it yet. If no, and you have claimed to your partner that you are over it, maybe apologize for the confusion and own your pain and where you are presently with how you feel about the past conflict. I think some of the confusion our partners can feel is that we tell them that we're over it. I'm over it, babe, but we're not. And it's okay to say that you're still healing from the conflict. When somebody hurts you, the last thing you want to do is to sit in it and feel it and cry about it. So a lot of us tend to just say like, okay, like we talked about it. It's over. I'm done. I'm healing. I forgive you. But do you really forgive that person that hurt you? And what are the clear indicators that you actually did forgive them? Because if you're bringing up the issue over and over again in arguments, you probably haven't. And that's okay. But it does get confusing to people when you say, I've forgiven you, I'm over it, but it's very clear that it's just you aren't over it yet, and that's totally okay. Reason number 3, it's used as a power play for control. Bringing up past mistakes can be used as a form of control. This control is established by making your partner feel guilty or vice versa. Guilt is a powerful emotion and it's linked to shame, and it makes us feel terrible about ourselves. Keeping a roster of things that our partner has done wrong and then unleashing this roster when we're arguing with them certainly brings out the worst version of themselves. It will hit them where it hurts and act as a control and manipulation mechanism, as it focuses on their mistakes and traps them and makes them feel helpless. If you ever made a mistake, and I'm sure that we all have made mistakes and it was like a big one and you were super shameful about it, how would you feel if somebody kept bringing it up? And when they bring it up, you know that you're so embarrassed and hurt about it, you feel like an absolute monster, but they keep bringing it up. And maybe they don't understand why they're bringing it up, but if it's because they're trying to control and manipulate, that's pretty bad. But it's not something that can't be unlearned. I think that most people don't understand that they're actually doing it. They don't understand that when they bring up the past, or they have this roster of things that their partner has done bad and they just kind of use it as ammunition or a way to control. I don't think that they actually know that they are doing it. Maybe they haven't gotten that awareness around it yet, or maybe they were taught from other relationships like parental relationships or just people around them who brought them up, that was like a normal thing. So if your partner or you are struggling with this, it can be unlearned. It just takes a little bit of awareness to break that habit. Reason number 4, it's a diversion technique. Bringing up the past in arguments acts as a diversion technique or distraction from the real problem at hand. For example, let's say that you showed up late to your partner's work dinner. When they speak to you about it, you say, well, you were late to my friend's birthday dinner, so. It's an easy way to distract and divert attention from things that we have done wrong and avoid taking ownership for our mistakes. When we make mistakes, it's good to practice just owning that mistake and saying I'm sorry instead of diverting blame back to the other person. Reason number 5, they feel hypocrisy is at play. One reason the past can be brought up into relationships is because one partner feels the hypocrisy is at play. The pot calling the kettle black situation. For example, Peter gets mad at Sally for staying out all night, but Peter has stayed out all night in the past and lied about it. Sally could bring up Peter's mistake as a form of defense. She could feel like Peter's being a hypocrite and using his old mistake as an example to show this. Why do you get to tell me this when you've done the exact same thing or worse? Reason number 6, punishment. Mistakes in relationships, especially big ones like infidelity or betrayal, are tricky to heal from. They cause resentment in the person that was harmed, and resentment is a sticky emotion. It's like black tar that blocks the love connection. If one person turns to resentment, it's possible that they bring up the past because they want to punish the other person. They're still angry inside and hurt when they think that the other person deserves to feel this same pain. Bringing up their mistake is a way of yielding that resentment, that pain. A Scorpio that strikes to administer the pain that one feels when they feel betrayed. And they feel, if I'm in pain, then you're gonna be in pain too. Unfortunately, tit for tat doesn't turn out well. Bringing up the past in an argument decreases the chance of working through it and can severely damage the relationship. Reason number 7. The person who's been hurt feels their partner doesn't understand. If the past is being brought into arguments, it's possible that the person who is harmed doesn't feel heard and understood, doesn't feel that their partner understands what they're going through. So therefore, the hurt person keeps bringing it up in arguments. However, that's not a good time to get the partner to understand because their defenses are up and it almost always makes the argument worse. Reason number 8, they don't want you to make the same mistake again. Bringing up the past in arguments can be used as a reminder to the person who made the mistake not to make the same mistake again. If they keep getting reminded of the mistake they made, maybe they won't make it again, right? However, that often backfires. When the partner in pain keeps bringing up the past, it aggravates the wound and makes sure it doesn't heal completely. Therefore, the wound itself becomes infected, thus causing more pain and discomfort. Some feel if they're still getting punished for what they did, why not keep doing it? Or worse, just leave the relationship. Everyone has their threshold of guilt that they can carry, and it's important not to push them too hard for too long. So, when can we bring up the past? When is the right time to bring up something about the past that's just eating at you? Create a calm and separate time to discuss it. If it's important and it's weighing on you, it deserves special time and special attention. Create a conversation about that alone and talk through it fairly. Stay on topic, guys. If you don't make space for it, it's gonna bubble up into other conversations between you and your partner is gonna be defensive and not feel safe and not open to hearing you. No one likes to be blindsided. And when you bring up old stuff during a completely different argument, it can feel like that. As you bring up the past, do it in a constructive manner. Make sure to focus on your partner's feelings as well. Even if they hurt you, they're still gonna have their own thoughts, feelings, and experience about the situation. Let them ask questions and answer them as best as you can without shutting them down. It's important to let your partner know that you are bringing up the past to better understand and create a better future, and not solely focusing on or poking at the pain of a wound that it's doing its best to heal. When speaking about the past, create goals for the future. What about the past can lead you to a better relationship? Do not look at what happened in the past as an anchor to hold you in stagnation, but a tool that can help you bring deeper healing into your relationship. The old stuff is going to keep on coming up until you take the time to talk about it. But that time is not in the middle of an argument about something completely different. All right, moodlings, that concludes our video for today. What did you think about the content in this video? What did you think about the reasons why partners bring up the past in relationships? And are you guilty of this? Is your partner guilty of this? How does it impact your relationship? Let us know in the comment section below, and see you later, moodlings.